Once the property is loaded into RHCompass, you're able to do a number of things with the properties, such as cloning it to make other properties of a similar nature, creating brochures from the property, setting open home times to flow through to realestate.com and domain, and also taking notes on the specific property. The first part we're going to look at is cloning the property. In the cloning of a property, there's a few important things to consider. Firstly, before you clone a property, ensure the property that you are cloning is not currently active. To make sure of that, you just need to make sure the status of the property here on your property is not currently listed. If it's currently listed as a listing, do not clone the property, as it will affect your current sale property or current rental property that's currently online. To begin the cloning process, we use the grey buttons up the top here. We use the clone copy button. Simply clicking on that button will take us to the clone property area. We can also clone photos only if we wish at this top, but for our purposes today we're simply cloning the property itself. Ensure the property is of the same type, that's a residential for rent. You can change the weekly rental amount here and put the new street number in here. So I'm going to put it in as 150, as I'm just doing a pretend clone property in this case. Importantly, in this section, once we go to clone the property, we'll be left with a new property by clicking the clone button down here. So I'm ready to go now. Clicking the clone property, it looks like it's refreshed the screen, but importantly up the top, it's actually shown you that we have got a new clone property. We can go straight to the property from that at this point. There are a number of things that I recommend changing once a property has been cloned. So to do so, we simply click on the view button and we will go through to the property to look at the changes. As you can see, the new street number has been added in. The rental amount unchanged is also there, but the rest of the details of the property are also in there, so including photos. Now importantly at this point, my recommendation is to change the description and heading and also rotate the photos as part of the process. Importantly with the photos, the rotation is quite critical, as you don't want two ads being online at the same time. This may not occur today when you're cloning the property, but is likely to occur in 3 to 6 months when you're reusing these ads once again. So just be mindful that you make sufficient changes to that clone property to avoid that issue. The next step that we're going to go through is creating our brochures for the property. This can be done for an active or an inactive property, either way. This is done through utilising the grey buttons above the property details called Page Publisher. Simply click on the Page Publisher button to get the process started. In this process we start by selecting the template we wish to use. There's lots of sale, auction and rental templates available. Simply choose the one that you would like to use. In my case I'm using a rental brochure here. So rent, we've got 3 photos, landscape, which is the version I'd like to use. If the images that you see before you aren't the ones that you want to use, you simply rotate them out and it will use the top 3 images in this case for the property photo. So I'm just simply putting them in the order that I would like. Once completed, I then click Publish to PDF. So once this is created, as you can see, you've got a full copy of the brochure here. Sometimes there's information we don't want on the brochure. In this case, we've got the office number or generic office number. We can change that to a mobile number if you wish, such as that. In relation to the viewing times, obviously we don't have any viewing times, so I'm just going to remove those, get rid of those details, and find us. Obviously this address here is our main office address. You can change that to your own also. Once you're satisfied with the changes that you've made, either in the description or on the side there, we simply then create the PDF. Once the PDF's created, as you can see, it loads up ready to go. So you can simply print it or download it and save it to your desktop. So in the printing process, obviously just make sure that your printing options are selected correctly. Obviously any brochure we do should be printed in colour to make sure all the rent and haunt images are done correctly. if we're fitting and we fit to one page. Sometimes the settings don't fit perfectly. Just importantly, you make sure your margins are set to the right size that you need. Effectively, in a print preview using Google Chrome, what you see is what you get when you print. Once you're satisfied, simply click the print button and away you go. In the next part of this training section, we're going to show you how to manage your open homes. This again can be done for a sale or a rental property. Importantly, the open home manager, which is located in the grey buttons up the top here, will only be active if the property is a listing. So if it's not listed as a listing, so that is it's not currently active online, the open home manager does not work. So in order to activate it, we simply click on the open home manager button. A new dialog box will appear. These are very simply done. I recommend for a sale property around about 45 minutes for an open home, whereas a rental property can be around about 20. Certainly all you have to do is select the date that you want the open home. So you put the open home in. Obviously it's got to be past today's date. In relation to the start and end times, all we do is put in the times that we feel are suitable. So if we're going from 10 AM to 11 AM, I might say no, I'll make that back to 10:20. It will give you warnings if some of the information is not correct, such that the time is already passed. It says tick. It automatically ticks once you've set the open home time if you want it to appear. Once you've completed the open home times for the property, you can set as many as you like. You simply click Save Open Homes and it will publish those times through to all the websites. The last feature I'd like to go through in relation to the properties is the notes feature. With the notes feature, it's also located as one of the grey buttons up the top. Simply clicking on the notes feature will allow you to access it. Generally that you see in the notes is the property's been uploaded and converted to a listing and so forth. That's what you've been doing with the property over a period of time. You can actually add any general notes in relation to the property. Reasons that you might do this could be a price change, or if the property's been activated for leasing purposes such as a break lease. It's good to put notes in there that the details were changed at the request of the tenant. These notes are obviously not that important whilst a listing's running, but should you have to go to court in relation to proof that you were advertising the property and the changes you made, these notes then become very important. So it's a good idea, I recommend, in taking notes in relation to what the property is doing. Obviously attaching them to the property is one of the safer locations. To add the note, you simply just type the note that you'd like in. So we can add a note, whatever note type you want. Once that's done, you simply click Add Note, and that note is then saved to the property. This concludes the training section on the property options that are available to you with the RHCompass system. Look forward to seeing you at the next training session.